Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Film Box Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Souza. I'm joined today by my good friend Connor Jameson and our great friend Marcel Urena. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, welcome back. It's been a little bit. The last time you were on, I believe, was when we did our Tom Cruise draft or was it sci-fi draft? I can't remember.
It was a Tom Cruise draft.
Yeah, Tom Cruise draft. That was a good one. So welcome back. And today we're not doing a draft. Instead, we're talking about the movie Weapons. This is the brand new Zach Cregger horror film. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk about this one. So I'm really looking forward to it. But first, let's dive in, talk about what we've been watching lately. I think in which case I'll probably kick us off because Sam's not here, which is weird. So I have seen 4 movies since the last time we recorded on the podcast. And it's been a bit of an interesting mix. I watched Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh,
which was bad. It was really rough.
Unfortunately.
I was not. I love the original Happy Gilmore, although it's been a long time since I've seen it. But Happy Gilmore 2 was rough, man. It was tough.
I feel like the discourse on that has been so fascinating.
Yeah.
I was just visiting my sister in Stanford, and her boyfriend he's a big Happy Gilmore fan too. And he asked me like, "Oh, have you seen the new one?" And I was like, "No, not yet." And he was like, "Listen,
oh no,
I know it's bad. If you go in with that mindset, I'm sure you'll have a good time." And I was like, "I won't," but
yeah,
thank you.
I went in with that mindset, and it was still rough.
Yeah, it's just way too many callbacks and
cameos.
The cameos. Yeah, I mean a couple of them, like 70 of them. Like let's dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so watch that, then followed that up with the first time watch of the movie Rounders with Matt Damon and Edward Norton. That was a fun one. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I picked it up at a store that I go to pick up DVDs, and just plugged it in. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Watched The Life of Chuck, which is Mike Flanagan's new movie from this year. Whew, that was the kind of movie. I don't know. Have either of you seen this movie yet?
Not yet.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It was like I've been really looking forward to seeing it, and like I left the movie just like contemplating everything about my life. It was one of those. I was like, oh man, here we go. Yeah, and then watch Weapons, and we'll talk about that today. It's a fun little mix. Marcel, what about you? What have you been watching lately?
Yeah, of course, other than Weapons. August has been kind of a slow month. I haven't had too much time to watch movies. But like the last couple of movies I've seen, I subconsciously did a double feature of Rob Reiner films. We watched Misery. Well, first I wanted to show my wife This Is Spinal Tap, but she was like not in the mood to watch that. So then I'm just like, oh well, let's watch like I don't know Misery. So I've already seen it. She's never seen it. So we watched that, and then I was like, all right, let's just watch This Is Spinal Tap now. So we ended up watching both of those. Which my first time watching This Is Spinal Tap, and I absolutely loved it. I couldn't stop laughing. And then I also saw Happy Gilmore 2.
Yep.
And then I got an early screener for Bambi: The Reckoning.
Oh God!
How is it?
This is my first experience with the I don't know what are they calling it? What are they calling it? That whole universe. Yeah. And so I thought they were gonna be like way more campy and just like all over the place. But they actually try to tell like a cohesive story and make it like really serious, but they just like throw in this like huge CGI like deer, just like just destroying people.
That's ridiculous.
Like the kills were great, and like it actually wasn't like terrible. Like I've seen way worse, and I can tell like they're actually trying to like put effort into these, and I applaud them for that. But I'm curious to see how the other ones are. It wasn't the worst thing I've seen, but obviously it's not great. But I did kind of have a decent time with it, surprisingly. And then other than that, I watched Sorcerer, William Friedkin, which is
great pick.
Oh my God, so good. First time watching that, I got the Criterion 4K, had to watch it.
Oh, nice.
And then another crazy one, last one is Red State, Kevin Smith, and
Mm-hmm.
that was. Have you guys seen that one?
I have not seen that one.
Okay, that's kind of because like I've seen Tusk, and then Red State is almost just as crazy as Tusk. Just like obviously it's like more like toward a cult, you know. But that's kind of a crazy movie also. But that's what I've seen.
Interesting. It's a good pick. It's a good series.
Yeah, not bad.
Connor, what about
Well,
you?
Before I go, Marcel, I just want to tell you with that Poohniverse, the first Winnie the Pooh movie is absolute dog shit. You could honestly just skip it, but the second one, that's when they actually like. You could tell they put in effort.
That's what I've heard. I heard the second one's like not bad.
Yeah, it's not it's the same thing. It's like not great by any means, but
Yeah.
you could tell like they got a budget, and that that makes a world of difference.
Yeah. You can read both of Connor's reviews on those movies on the website.
Yeah. But anyway, so I've seen 6 movies. So
Yeah.
a bit of a quiet start to August. Started with the Batman. I've been in a real like hero kick recently, and yeah, the Batman is just phenomenal. I finally got it, a physical copy of it because I ordered one on Whatnot. It got lost, and it said it got delivered in April. It never did, and
Yikes.
I'm just gonna chalk that up as a loss.
Yeah. Is that the one that I put in like a lost package request for?
Yep.
I still get an email once a month like, we're still looking for it. Don't worry.
Apparently, it was delivered 4 months ago.
Yeah, okay.
I think I have like 2 like 4K steelbooks of the Batman, like 2 different versions. I can't reach them now because my superhero section is like up there, and I need my ladder.
Yeah.
It's,
Are you just in like your own like Criterion closet?
Oh yeah, I'm working on it.
That's awesome. I have down here at my store that I go to down in Rhode Island. They had someone donated a copy of the Batman on DVD, which is whatever, but I got it for $3.
Yeah, it's easy. I'll take
It
that all
was
day.
so good, such a great deal.
Yeah, I got it. I just got it off Amazon. It was the 4K. It was $15 on sale.
Nice.
This is also a good deal.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway, I watched We Live in Time. I wanted to rewatch it, and I definitely liked it more the second time. I think I was a bit too harsh on the way it was told. Dipped right back into Batman. I did Mask of the Phantasm. I think that's probably the best animated Batman movie. Then I watched the absolute worst movie of 2025, War of the Worlds with Ice Cube.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about this.
I want to see that so
Why
bad.
did you?
For that reason, it was so bad. Everyone's talking about it. I wanted to see how bad it was, and it is. We put more effort into our podcast than they did into that movie.
Oh, dude, I'm brewing together a TikTok idea where I'm just gonna sit down and do a line readings up from that movie in the way Ice Cube does it in the movie.
Honestly,
Yeah.
there's so many scenes where he's just like, anytime he's not on camera, you could tell he has a script in front of him. He's like, and the aliens are targeting the data centers and water supplies. Like, it's so obvious he's just reading with his finger.
And it's
Yeah,
like
it's
not
just
even
like-
it's not even matching what's happening on screen. It's just like
He like sat down, like pushed up his glasses, like, all right, aliens.
it makes me wonder though, because like the whole screen life thing. I don't know if you guys know. It's like it was, I think, almost co-founded or co-created by Timur Bekmambetov, who's a guy who did like he directed Wanted, he directed Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, Day Watch, Night Watch, and he obviously he's got some hits with Missing, Searching, Profile, but I wonder if like because this movie was shelved for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they just knew it was just terrible, and maybe they were just kind of like trying something with the whole screen life thing, and then for some reason they just decided to release it. I don't know why, but
Yeah, just put it out. We just need to get it out there.
yeah, that's crazy.
I think I saw a TikTok. It might have been just for an anniversary. I don't know if it was for the original story, the original like Orwell like radio piece or what. But I mean, obviously the Spielberg movie was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I watched it.
ago,
It was terrible. Um, but
Yikes.
we can log it. Then I watched Batman Hush, and then Weapons.
Nice.
Nice. Well, let's dive in. Let's talk about weapons. So, I'll start off. Actually, I was going to start off with a bit of an overview, but I actually want to start off just going around the horn and just getting your high level, no spoilers thoughts. Marcel, I'll start with you. How did you feel about weapons?
I really liked it. I got it sitting at a 4.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I'm a huge fan of this kind of like the structure of weapons. That's kind of what like really drew me into this, the storyline. And I went into this completely blind, so I tried my hardest to not see anything from the trailer. So I got like the full experience watching this movie. And I think the biggest thing that drew me in was definitely the storyline, but also being able to mix like different genres. You know, it had a little bit of horror, had a little bit of comedy, had a little bit of thriller, crime, and I think they fleshed out all those genres pretty evenly throughout. Where it was just like a great blend of all of those, and that's kind of what I liked about it, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that. It was a really cool movie. It's like shades of a film like Prisoners, but if you lean more into the horror than the like detectives work, it's really cool. It's a really cool movie. And I was a fan of the first half of Barbarian, and this brought back shades of that part of Barbarian to me, which I really enjoyed. Connor, how did you feel about it?
No, I really liked it too. Like, I what I really liked too is obviously Zach Kreger. This is his second movie, and it's so awesome to see like a filmmaker who you can see in real time, like kind of find their stride. Because like I liked Barbarian a lot, and I know you really didn't like the tone shift at the halfway point. I did, and here I think he's much better at blending the comedic aspects and the more horror thriller aspects of it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like such a hard line shift. Like Barbarians was like, here's basically like one short film, and then we're cutting to another.
We're gonna
short
show
film.
you one of the most graphic things you're gonna watch, and then it's just Justin Long on the highway.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, I agree. This one, it blends it a lot more. It kind of weaves everything in and out, and
Aaron, something you said about Prisoners. There's almost even an argument to be said that, and well, we'll get back to this later, and when we're talking about spoilers, but almost like Prisoners almost is scarier than Barbarian because of how bleak that whole film is, right?
Right.
Where I'll explain later why I think this bleakness doesn't really exist in this like movie, because obviously all these children going missing in this town seems like a pretty bleak subject, but you don't really feel that way with weapons, and I'll get into like a theory of why I think that later on.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I like it. All right. So let me just run down real quick. Weapons is a 2025 American mystery horror film written, as we said, co-produced, and directed by Zach Kreger. It stars Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, Alden Ehrenreich, Austin Abrams, Carrie Christopher, Benedict Wong, and Amy Madigan. It was shot by Larkin Seaplay, I think I pronounced that right, who is a cinematographer who worked on Everything Everywhere All at Once and Swiss Army Man, and also with John Watts on Cop Car and Wolves. So he's got a pretty good resume brewing. Produced by New Line Cinemas, which I just gotta say, that was a great. I didn't realize this was a New Line movie, but as soon as the New Line logo popped up, I was like, "Oh, I'm in. This movie's gonna be great."
I thought the same
was
thing.
Something about like that New Line logo popping up, and it wasn't like a warm blanket feeling, but I was like, you know what? I never had doubts, but like, I'm in for something.
Yeah, it was. I was really excited when I saw the New Line pop. And it was distributed by Warner Bros. With a runtime of 128 minutes and a budget of 38 million. I won't make you guess because this isn't done at the box office, obviously, but It has grossed 70 million at the box office already.
Yeah, I was gonna say
So this is a hit.
Budget back.
Yeah, this is a hit, which I'm very happy about. And I could tell too, just anecdotally, I went on Thursday to see it. I couldn't make it to Boston on Tuesday for my early screening, so I ended up going on Thursday. And it was the first showing of the day on the Thursday preview day at 2:17 p.m. and my theater was like 3/4 full.
That's pretty crazy.
And I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, my theater was sold out too.
Yeah, I watched it in IMAX, and it wasn't like full, but like the whole like central portion of the theater was pretty packed.
Nice, I love it. I'm glad to see it's people are responding to movies like this. I mean, between Sinners and Weapons, it's horror's having a. We'll talk about it later. Horror's having a bit of a renaissance. So. Just a few details about Weapons. First off, Zach Kreger wanted to make this a more personal horror movie, and was inspired by Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia, and by movies like The Shining in creating a much more personal horror film, which I just thought that was really cool. I love when directors, especially newer directors, really take from like their personal love for something and just kind of remix it, and you can see those influences on the screen. I don't know, it's just something about that really I really appreciate.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Weapons, let's talk about the reviews. Connor, you said you have some reviews ready for us. Do you have the Rotten Tomatoes score?
Of course.
Okay, so why don't you run through some reviews?
So sitting currently, it's got a 95% on the tomato meter, and a 87% with the populace. So very high scores. Love to see it. A 5-star review I pulled goes, I like horror movies. So do I. I like horror movies treated as an art form that make you question society, humanity, and life itself. I like horror movies that don't take themselves too seriously and can be funny in their own macabre fashion. Only a few directors master this skillful art, subtly blending all genres together, and most of them are Korean. In the US, Zach Kreger is one of the newest and most intriguing voices in contemporary horror cinema, and he is one of them, okay. Simply put, Weapons is probably the most original cinema release I've watched this year, all genres combined. It is a masterclass in character-driven terror where the tension inexorably builds with each insanely perfect actor performance. The story gradually marches to a point of no return with a gruesome climax exploding in liberating chaos. It is horror, yes, but treated as a beautifully made, dark, and twisted thriller.
Very nice. Very succinct. I had that same exact review saved to read it. So
I figured you would.
Yeah, those are great reviews.
That was a good one. All right. Well, what do you got for? Do you have some not so good ones? Because I got a couple.
I also have a couple.
Okay. Why don't you give me one?
All right. I guess you aren't a true horror fan if you aren't suckered into a stinker of a movie here or there. The trailer will look spooky. The early reviews will be hyperbolic AF. You'll come in excited and then have a completely underwhelming viewing experience. The film is poorly structured and sloppy. The non-linear format and multiple POV characters did nothing for the story. It actually could have been better with a linear timeline that focused on Alex's perspective. We didn't need to see things from the teacher, principal, cop, or town junkie's perspective. Huge disagree. We didn't need the sexual relationship that was crowbarred in for no reason. I never came to care for any of these characters because none of them were given time or proper development. Not even the villain. Every time one of the storylines built any real tension, it abruptly switched to another character's POV. It resulted in a lot of redundant sequences. Then there's the plot holes. My God, the plot holes. There are too many to list them all, but the most glaring one is this. Are we really expected to believe that no one...
Is that spoiler? We haven't gotten no spoilers. Or Is there a spoiler in that section?
Not really.
Okay.
Are we expected to believe that no one on Alex's street had a ring cam?
Okay, fair enough.
This mystery should have been solved the next day.
Yeah.
Apparently, the director is already working on a sequel, but I'll pass. I never got invested in anything this movie presented. I don't even care to know how the spell worked. I don't care what happens next. It was just a mess.
Wild. I've got a 1-star review from Google that I really liked. I wanted to pull. It's long, so I'll just read a snippet of it. So it starts. I honestly walked out of the theater feeling super disappointed. I was expecting a good dose of horror and suspense, but instead it was just 2 hours of flashbacks and plot holes. The movie felt like it was trying too hard to be deep or scary, but it missed the mark. And so they go on, saying all this stuff, and then they go into like a spoiler section and list 20 different things that they thought was wrong with the movie and the plot holes and whatever, which I'm not going to read all of them, but I thought that was funny. So that was from a person named Gladiator a day ago. This one's from Radio Rebel 2 days ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, I pulled these two up as well because...
probably one of the most disappointing movies I've seen in theaters. I expected horror and suspense. Instead got 2 hours of flashbacks and plot holes. I'm convinced people who rate it high just glazing the director or our bots. And then goes on to list the exact same 20 plot holes from the other review. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny. Just like some copy paste bullshit.
Yeah. It's not even fun like the Minecraft movie one.
Oh, the Minecraft movie was hilarious. And then there's an audience review that I just saw on Rotten Tomatoes. This guy said, Richard, 1/2-star review, said movie was horrible, was nothing like the previews, was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, walked out halfway through. Well, you walked out halfway through. That's why it wasn't like the previews.
Yeah.
I love
that. It's like going into a movie and being like, I watched the setup for the first 10 minutes and like, this is nothing like the movie looked like in previews. I'm done.
Could you imagine?
Wait a minute.
Like you're watching the Titanic and you're like, this shit's boring. I'm turning this shit off.
The boat didn't sink.
and then complaining like the movie didn't even dress like the elephant in the room. Like the boat sank.
Stupid. Oh man. All right. Let's talk spoilers. So I'm doing the blanket spoilers. I think I can play the NFL draft. So this is spoiler section. So if you haven't watched the movie, I don't know why you're still listening. Go watch the movie and then come back. All right. So we'll start with what worked. I'm just gonna jump right in, much like the movie, and say, I love that it jumps straight into the mystery. There's no like 15 minutes of like happy everyday life, whatever, that sets everything up and this town and the people and then gets into the disappearance. I love that it's like the narration comes on. It's like, hey, yeah, these kids disappeared. No one knows what the fuck is going on. Welcome to the movie. Yeah. I love that. I just think that's really, really cool.
I agree. I think when, actually, that's like the same thing that I can relate to that to like reading a book. I can't stand when it's just like, all right, let's get to like, like what really matters in the story. When like a book just like gets you into that, that's exactly how I felt with Weapons. I totally agree. Like once you like thrust you just straight into what's happening, it makes like the experience just like from the get so much better.
Yeah. And there are some movies where that works. Like if you look at like Lord of the Rings, for example. Like the half hour of fellowship that they spend in the Shire is like some of the best in the series, but you're immersing in a whole world and it's this is like everyone knows the suburbs. We get it. Like you can just get us right into the mystery.
Well, especially when you're going to tell the story like this in like the segments, you got to get the incident going. That way you can cut to everyone's perspective of it. Yeah. And to that point, I like that we bookend it with Justine to start and we end with Alex. Because they're the two most affected, I would say, of like the whole tragedy.
Yeah. I mean the order in which you put all of the storylines is extremely important, and I think Krieger nailed it. The order is spot on. It's right where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Um, I liked how in this movie, just across the whole movie, but it really starts pretty early. There are four different, interesting one take scenes in this movie, and the matching ones from the liquor store. I
Yes.
love a good one take, and the fact that like there were four in this movie, I was like, I was in. It was so awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just all the camera work and the editing. I feel like, again, you can see how like Kreger has really like advanced his work from
Oh yeah,
Barbarian to here
yep,
as he's kind of got more comfortable. He's got, I know he credited Fincher too with like his help with the editing too. So it's like
mm-hmm.
now that he's a bit more established, he has a bit more connections. Now he can like really start to experiment.
Yeah. No, it's a really good point. Marcel, what do you have? What worked for you?
No, for me, I'm just gonna kind of piggyback off what Connor just said, like the camera work, like straight from the get, as not only piggybacking off what you said, how it pushed you into the story, but like the camera movement and the cinematography, like the fluidity was like
Mm-hmm.
insane. Like the camera's constantly moving every scene from one scene to the other. It constantly moves, and then now I didn't even look who the cinematographer was. So like everything, everywhere, all at once in Swiss Army Man makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I just like I don't know. There's like a scene where they're walking through the house, and it just like goes like it just follows straight to like the front door, and then the next scene it just like kind of sways through the scene, and I think that leads to my next thing that I enjoyed in this movie were the jump scares and how effective they were,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
when the movie is so fluid and constantly moving like the camera throughout every scene, when it got to those jump scenes, those were a little bit more static, even though they did play with a little bit of camera movement, kind of like tilting up and down, but it wasn't like as fluid, so it kind of almost like throws you off a little bit, because then you're expecting more movement, but then when it does happen it's like a jump scare in like that
Yeah.
specific scene. And I thought like the contrast between the fluidity and like the jump scares made such more impact when it came to those scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's one that I definitely want to talk
Well,
about.
I was going to ask which one got you the most?
Oh my god, the ceiling one.
Yes,
Jeez,
the
oh
ceiling
my
one
God.
I will tell you, the one though, wasn't a jump scare, but I think the one that made me react the most, outside of just like the standard jump scare, was the first time when Benedict Wong's character is running out
Oh
after Julia Garner. Just because I'm in that state of the movie when we first see it happen, where I'm like assuming, okay, something, it's like a nighttime thing. These kids all left at 2:17 a.m. There has to be some significance with the nighttime. And then all of a sudden, broad daylight, here's this guy sprinting
Mm-hmm.
at the main characters. I was like, what the hell? What is going? It freaked me out. I was like totally unnerved at that scene.
Yeah. The one that got my audience the most was the Josh Brolin Nightmare one.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so funny because the person sitting next to me could not handle themselves after that. Which, I mean, to be fair, like as soon as he wakes up, he's like, "What the fuck?" And everyone just started dying at that too.
Yeah.
This person, God bless their soul, they were like wheezing, and every I think they needed to like. They should have paused the movie for at least like 30 seconds for this person to catch their breath. Yeah, but the one that got me the most was the Alex's mom walking out of the house with the scissors to Justine's car.
Yes.
Oh, that was
I
good.
was pissing myself.
Terrified. That one.
It was like the way she was walking, and then when you hear her get in the car,
oh my god,
I was like, I was in the fetal position.
I was literally like, are we gonna see Julia Garner die this early into the movie? Like, is this how this is going?
Yeah,
I was terrified too. I was like, my heart rate was going. All right, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about another thing that really worked for me. And Marcel, you're representing a little bit here. It's the mustaches in this movie.
Oh yeah.
There are multiple excellent mustaches in this between Benedict Wong and Alden Ehrenreich, and then the guy who plays Benedict Wong's husband, I'm assuming, in the movie. Just three stellar mustaches.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love it.
We need more mustaches back in Hollywood.
Oh yeah. especially the big thick ones, like the one that Alden Ehrenreich was rocking. I was like, yeah, dude, that works. That's a good one.
You can't be a cop and not have a mustache.
Oh yeah,
especially in like a small town.
Yeah, no, you know the guys, and yeah, just for sure. Here's one for you. How about a little Willow call out in 2025? That was awesome. I don't know if you guys caught that moment.
Oh yeah, when he's like looking through the DVDs.
Yeah, he's looking through the DVDs like, oh shit, Willow, yeah. I was like, hell yeah, man. That's such a good. I just love that. I love that. It's such a good little call out.
Hey, you know what? I'll give a call out to Justin Long. Just showing up. And Sarah Paxton.
We'll talk about him. We'll talk about him for sure.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the jump scares. I do have to commend the comedic moments that help break up the tension. There are some genuinely funny parts of this movie that help break up what is in essence either it oscillates between like straight up horror and very scary to like very intense mystery thriller. So having a moment to catch your breath, and much like the guy that's sitting next to Connor, have a minute to catch your breath, I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Especially there was one joke that I wanted to call out, which was when was it James I believe with the drug addict. He's trying to break into the house and he's like pushing and squeezing through the fence, and then he like slams it shut and it opens. He's like trying to push through a pole fence. I was like, dude, that's just hilarious. Like you can't think of you can't come up with that. Like that's just too good.
I know. I thought I missed a joke on that one because I must have like blinked or looked away because I must have missed him trying to like wait. He was trying to jump the fence, was it?
He was trying to like squeeze through it, but he was pushing open the fence.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And it was a pull fence, so it was like barely squeezing it, like really squeezing. But then when he got back, he like went to go slam it shut, and it just like opened the other way. I was like, that's just, and they brought no attention to it. It just happened, and I was like, that's awesome. All right, what else? What do you have? Well, give me something else that worked. Because I got another one, but I want to give you guys a shot.
I guess I like the ending. I know it's controversial. I like the ending a lot because
let's talk about it.
That's the biggest tone shift I would say. Okay, we're in the spoiler section. This is a massive spoiler.
Yes,
it's like all these kids were under a witch's spell, Gladys. And they get turned, like they get, I guess, broken from her spell under Alex's spell now. And they just chase her down. And it's played for laughs because they're just chasing her for like, it feels like 10 minutes, but it's like, it's a while. I liked how it was just like, it just felt like, I think that review put it well, like it felt cathartic of them like tearing her apart, but like, breaking through houses, like,
and the reactions of the people, they're like, what the fuck?
Just
going nuts.
Yeah, it was just excellent. I mean, Amy Magdalene, the way she sells like the running through like yards and houses, just like a cartoon. She's like running with her arms up, like it's just so funny. And then
I agree. I think the ending does work because like usually with these kind of movies, when they introduce like a villain, they'll like figure out their weakness or something, and they'll kind of downplay it a little bit, and then it'll lead to like their demise, right? Where in this movie, she never gets that time to like dwindle down to like being vulnerable. It just like happens, and she's like,
it's like all of a sudden,
and then she just like bounces,
Yeah, she realizes, I fucked up, and then it's gone.
I can't do anything, and it's just like that, like that tonal shift that we saw in Barbarian. That's like a little glimpse of it there in Weapons, where you just see her just like vulnerable, just like out of nowhere. It's amazing.
Well, that's the thing, because like the way I saw it is like, she's had the power this entire time. She's kind of had everyone under control, But that was the one moment where she really fucked up. She like left the kit upstairs when she was in the basement, which let
Mm-hmm.
Alex kind of take over. And that was her being like, ah, shit.
Yep.
And then good on Alex for knowing what to do in that situation too.
I mean, he's a very observant
smart
kid.
kid.
He knows, yeah. I want to talk about that. But first, I do want to say you mentioned Amy Madigan and Gladys. Once she comes into the movie, it like takes a notch up. Like she brings so much heat to the role. Like it is undeniable. She's so good, and just Gladys as a character, it just brings something extra to the movie, which I love.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't like keep her in the back pocket until the very end. I'm glad that they've like introduced her like halfway in.
Yeah.
Instead of just like keep popping her up in like nightmare sequences or like in the woods.
Right.
I wonder if Zach Cregger is just gonna keep making movies with like, I don't know, we like his Barbarian. We had like this like mother character. In Weapons, we have this crazy aunt. I wonder if like the next one's gonna be like some crazy sister or something. He's just like, he's just going down the family line.
It's the female family verse.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, I want to talk about too. There's a couple. The performances in this movie are really, really good. But Julia Garner, especially, is incredible. I don't know. I mean, this might be the year of Julia Garner between Wolfman and now Fantastic Four, and then Weapons. I mean, she's just absolutely crushing and like quickly becoming one of my favorite actresses. But I gotta say, Carrie Christopher as Alex, what an absolutely phenomenal performance. I mean, this is, you know, a child acting is so hit or miss, just, you know, because they're kids. But this basically the whole final third of this movie hinges on him, and he absolutely knocks it out of the park. So I just got to commend that because, I mean, I was blown away. It was really cool.
Yeah. And I think like that whole story that he has is just so like deeply tragic. And I feel like, especially knowing how personal it was for Cregger, I wonder if like, and maybe it's because I've seen like the clip going around of how Robert Eggers was with like the kids on the witch. Maybe like he definitely gave him like a lot of like notes and like was like really helping him like, hey, we're gonna make sure we're gonna give you all the avenues to really crush this because it really does come down to you. Yeah, he just knocked it out of the park.
All right, any other what worked before we move to what didn't work?
I think like the last thing we talked about already a little bit. For me, I know you said some bad reviews. The story structure didn't work for a lot of people. I think it worked for me. I don't know how else to kind of break this down, but I just think the way they were able to tell the story from different, you know, perspectives of the characters and leading up, like you said, it book ended with Julie, I think that's her name in the movie, and then Alex at the end with everything in between. And I kind of will get into maybe in the next segment, maybe something that could have possibly not have worked, but I think the story structure worked.
No, I agree. And I think it did a good job of bringing you along with the mystery and figuring things out as you go along as well, which is important for this kind of movie. But it didn't like hold your hand and say, okay, so we're going to start here and you're going to see this happen. And it's like kind of like you see something happen and then you're left to sit in it while you watch something a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, and then he gives you hints. There was a scene where we were in, I think, James's storyline, and it was when he first went to the pawn shop, right? And then they glance at the $50,000 reward for the kids, right? And then he glances back down. So they gave you like that hint, like a little bit of foreshadowing. Yeah. And then when he's walking in the house, like it just clicked for me before he even found the kids. I went to my wife because she hates when I do this, when I like, you know, predict something. I go to her and I'm like, oh my God, he's going to find the kids here. And she's like, shut up. And then like he ended up finding the kids because it went back to the reward because obviously he's looking for money and it all connects. So there's a lot of hints in the stories.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even the subtle things too, like Josh Brolin's character having the red paint that gets painted onto Julia Garner's car.
Yeah.
You
All the
know, James
Parasite
and
stuff
right.
in the
Yep.
background.
Yep. James meeting with like connecting with Julia Garner at the liquor store. For that brief moment, you know, there's little bits and pieces that they're like, here, oh, you know, you'll see this, and then it'll connect somewhere else.
Exactly.
All right, let's move to what didn't work, because this movie's very good. I think we've established, but there are definitely some things that that I want to talk about. First and foremost, this movie takes way too long to get Josh Brolin into it. He's a great actor. He's a great force, and I think he works well in this movie. But it's like the first 20 minutes of the movie, he's just not in. Aside from hearing his voice at the PTA meeting at the very start, I would have liked to have seen him there right away, and just get him and Julia Garner almost simultaneously introduced. I don't know, that maybe that's just me, but I would have preferred.
He had the second segment, right?
Yes, he did have the second segment. So he was still early into the movie, but it was like we had been there for 25 minutes already before he's even introduced.
Yeah. No. I was fine with it because, like,
How do you feel about the title? Oh, sorry, go ahead. You lagged a little bit on our call, so.
No, I was gonna say you also lagged for me, but that's probably me.
Oh, well, there we go.
I got the yellow bars. The title?
No. What were you gonna say before?
Oh, all I said was like it worked for me having him show up when he did.
Okay.
Especially no, because I guess Justine's segment ended when they cut her hair.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe if you cut to him instead of like during like the gas station incident, like that scene with Marcus instead of the principal. But yeah, the title.
Yeah, let's talk about the title. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm not much of a fan of the title Weapons.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know if I don't like it. I don't like love it. It's like it's fine.
I get it.
Yeah.
But you know, because the thing that relates to Weapons also, like that's really on the nose, is I don't know if I liked the AK-47 and
the
Giant
giant assault rifle.
Yeah,
in the sky. I was going to talk about that too.
That's a weapon. I don't know. Like
it was a little on the nose, Zach, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So, obviously it's there for a reason, and I need to figure out why. I'm sure there's a lot of theories, which maybe we can talk about later. But that didn't work for me, and I guess it kind of makes sense if she's like. But she's not really using the kids as her weapon, like Gladys. She's more using them as like a
life source.
A life force.
Unless, Alex turns him into a weapon after that. There's just like, yeah, I agree with you. Maybe I'm not the biggest fan of the title either.
Yeah. So
yeah, you just in real time,
I just convinced
yourself.
So for me, I get it in the sense that, yeah, like she can weaponize people to do like her bidding, essentially, like the way she can weaponize Alex's parents to like at the literally at the ring of the bell start stabbing themselves in the faces, the way she could turn Marcus to kill his husband and then attack Justine.
Julia Gunner. Yeah.
And then she has the power to, if she wanted to turn the kids into like the weapons. I do think it was a bit on the nose for like Josh Brolin to be like, oh, the way they these kids were just like heat-seeking weapons going to their target.
Yeah, it was a little on the nose. I mean, I think too, I get it in that like, to also the idea of the movie is how tragedy can weaponize people against each other, and
yeah,
okay, we could just call it missing and get the same effect. Like we don't need the title weapons. That happens all the time.
Yeah. No, but I think so. This isn't like a critique or anything, but like Kreger has been very, very open about how like he didn't want this to be like an allegory for like school shootings, and he didn't want this to be like political or like a statement on society, which is fair. He wanted this to be like a personal. It was basically like a stream of consciousness to help him grieve the loss of his friend.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's when it's that you're not doing yourself favors saying all that when you're leaving this big of breadcrumbs to that.
Right. When you're putting a classroom full of missing kids and a giant gun in the sky in a dream sequence, it's not
Yeah.
really
Because like the way I interpreted that was like that was just his fear, like shit, my kid's dead, like from that, or because I mean, yeah, that was it. 'Cause he doesn't know anything else at that point. He just knows his kid's
Yeah.
gone.
Um no, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Um I got
So
another
yeah,
go
you go
ahead.
first. No, you go first, Aaron.
I was going to move to another thing, so you go
Oh,
ahead.
I guess just one more thing that was touched upon in one of the reviews earlier. It doesn't really bother me that much because I'm not really one to nitpick. But like, I guess the plot holes in terms of the Ring cameras, sure, I guess we can talk about that.
Mm,
Because yeah, like in reality, I feel like a lot of neighbors and or houses have Ring cameras now. I feel like a good percentage of them, right? And I think it's hard to imagine that there aren't two kids running in the same direction that can capture like being captured from a Ring camera to see like what direction they were going to. And I'm sure that like the police could have investigated that. And that's actually another thing I want to talk about is the lack of investigations from the cops and not really
yeah.
being brought to the audience. But I think all of this is because this is something I really wanted to talk about. All leads actually to some kind of commentary that I don't think a lot of people are, or maybe I'm just like reaching here, but this is what I got from the movie. I think there's more of a commentary here on like surveillance or maybe lack thereof, or even almost just like isolation behavior from
Hmm.
people now. Like people don't leave their house that much. Like when I
Right.
grew up, people used to be outside their house. Everyone knew where everybody was. But like I don't talk to my neighbors. Maybe that's my fault. But my neighbors don't talk to.
Well, I'm the same way. I live in an
Yeah,
apartment building with other people. I don't speak to any of them.
yeah. So
Same.
like, how am I supposed to know if 17 kids
Yeah,
are
right.
missing? The cop should be involved in that. But I think there's almost this commentary that like, it's almost like, hey, like if this happens, cops aren't really involved as much. Like neighbors aren't involved. It's almost like this commentary on this isolation aspect that people don't care and they kind of just only care about themselves and if it happens to
Hmm.
them. And I know there's this whole theme of with Gladys and being almost like a parasite. That's like one aspect. But I think the part that really touched me was like leading to prisoners where prisoners people were involved in searching for for everything and it was like very bleak, where in this movie it was the complete opposite. And I think that was on purpose to show this lack of care that these like communities have now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I
No,
think
I love that.
yeah, I think something to that point too is how like when Josh Brolin is going to like Sarah Paxton, like, hey, I think I found something on my Ring camera. Kyle, do you have footage of your daughter going missing? And she's like, no, I don't want to show you that.
I'm not comfortable with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, if this guy has any sort of lead to like finding your daughter, would you not be in the slightest bit interested?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think too. You guys are though I had a bit of a different read on it, but I love the way you're saying it. But also, I think it's important to consider too. This movie picks up 30 days
No,
after
yeah,
the
yeah.
initial
That's the thing
disappearance.
too, because they say like how the cops have been out there and
Yeah,
like
they
the
did do
Right.
the searches. That is true. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think there's a point where like I'm sure if this movie took place like in the days post disappearance, it would be almost like a different movie. But the
Mhm.
fact that it is 30 days, it like there's no hope. By that point, police are not really investigating; they're more like keeping the lines open.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I mean that could explain some of it, but I think you're right too. I mean, there is a very much a bleak sort of outlook on the way that people are in society. I mean, they're not to your point, they're not comfortable sharing, with neighbors. They don't know what their neighbors' kids are doing or their neighbors are doing, let alone, some people don't even really know what their kids are doing. And,
Mhm.
so I think it all kind of blends together. Um, here's the thing that didn't work. And maybe this is another nitpick, but there is absolutely, positively zero chance that a family lets a long lost relative come and live with them indefinitely after they had just moved to a new town. I mean, I'm telling you, there is an absolutely zero chance that Aunt Gladys gets into that home.
Well, to that point, she's a witch.
I don't know, man. They
She's
still had to let her in.
She's
Like,
doing witch stuff.
The dad was like, I don't know. I've never met her. Your mom's met her like twice, maybe. We don't even know if that's true.
The dad pulled the Vin Diesel line out. We're family, and I'm like, are you?
Like,
though? Like,
no, you're not family. For all intents and purposes, like if I had a family member come to my door or hit me up on the phone, is like, hey, I don't know you. I've never met you.
I'm like your
I need to come live with you for an uncertain amount of time because I'm very sick. I'm like, haha, click.
Yeah, I will say, because that's the last segment, the fact that they actually were like, no, she is like your sister's, your mom's sister. I was like, oh fuck. I thought that was just like her lying.
Yeah, I don't.
When they confirmed it, because I have my theory about.
Yeah, but
that.
now I'm kind of nitpicky now because I'm like, if I was a mom, I'd call my family. I'm pretty sure she has other family members. Like, hey, like, what's up with Aunt Gladys? Like, why can't she stay with you or something?
Why can't she be in a home or a hospital?
Yeah. There's a 0% chance this woman's getting through the front door of that house. It's just not happening.
That's actually a great point.
Well, that's why you just chalk it up to witchcraft and.
That's like I need to get them in the house.
No, but honestly, actually, just not to linger on this. That's actually really interesting you say that, Connor, because why were it's a character's name Justine?
Yeah.
Why is Justine's character and like Josh Brolin's character like seeing her in their dreams? So it almost feels like she does have this kind of like aura impact of like some kind of radius, maybe, that she's able to like have this power. That's, I mean, it's a good point. Yeah, it could be, but
yeah.
I don't know. I just know if it were me, and even if I hadn't just moved to a new town, because they made it clear that they had just moved. I mean, the moving boxes were there in the house, so they had just gotten to this town. Like, I'm like, absolutely not. This woman is just not coming into our home and staying for an inordinate amount of time, just unknown. Oh, she's very sick. Okay, go be sick somewhere else. I don't you don't need to come here. I'm sorry.
We'll chip into the GoFundMe, but...
Yeah, right? Send me a link. Oh, man. All right, what else? Do you have anything else for what didn't work?
I have a couple nitpicks. For starters, like, yeah, the movie starts off like with the kids running away. I kind of wish it didn't have a song backing it. I wish it was just like either a score.
Oh, like silence?
Or just dead. I wish it just started off creepy instead of
that would have been cool.
Yeah, because I feel like us having a song was just like you could just start off on such a unnerving tone, and it just didn't have that feel for me.
Did when that was happening, was the narration from the girl also going on?
It might have still been going on.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'd also like to know who that girl was.
Yeah, that was one of my questions for the movie.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but
no, it's okay. Anything else?
Just like when you put so much weight into two of the segments, some of the segments in the middle feel very shallow.
Yeah,
like Paul and James, the cop in the attic. It's kind of like, you guys do serve a role later on, but like if we had done like it, I like having Marcus as just like a short segment. But if it had just been like Justine, Asher, short segment of Marcus, and then Alex, keeps the story nice and tight. And just weave those characters in elsewhere. But I guess you do need James because he's the one who finds the kids, and
yeah.
I agree with that. All right, let's move to best moments. So we're going to be talking about actual specific scenes in this segment. So, my first scene that I want to highlight is like the opening, the PTA meeting at the beginning. There's just always something about like a community in crisis coming together and like getting angry at one specific person that I just always love. I love when you have a whole crowd of people just like, no, you're a witch. It's just great.
Yeah. I do find it funny how Krager was very like, I'm going to put like witch on her car right off the bat, and then I'm actually going to put a witch in the movie.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that, but it is a little on the nose again.
It's foreshadowing in plain sight, but it's like, like if you haven't seen it and like you're going in blind, you're just gonna be like, okay, yeah, it's like a witch hunt, and then you're like, oh fuck, there's an actual witch.
Exactly. No, that's a good point, because that's kind of symbolic in the sense that it reminded me of like the Salem witch trials, where like one person's being blamed as a witch when in reality there's probably another witch somewhere else that's like an actual witch, and like the wrong people, the wrong people are getting hanged.
Well, yeah,
that was actually pretty interesting.
It's even like Halloween Kills, where like they get the whole mob mentality, and it gets the wrong like inmate killed.
Oh man,
and,
never
like,
in my life did I think we'd have a
kids.
Halloween Kills callback.
Yeah.
What does he say? I always forget what he says.
Evil dies tonight.
He has so many bad one-liners.
Oh man.
When are we going to revisit Halloween Kills on this podcast?
Halloween. We could do the entire franchise in one go, or like the
Yikes.
sequel, legacy sequel.
All right. Julia Garner's stakeout, followed by the one take of the door, and then the mom, and then the hair cutting. I mean, we talked about it earlier. That is one of the best scenes in the movie. It is just
terrifying.
Oh, dude, I was terrified because I think I knew that something was going to happen, but the fact that he kept it at a one take, where it was, okay, she's watching the door, she's asleep, we know she's asleep, we pan to the door, and it's just nothing, and then the door opens and you're like, fuck, and then the woman comes out and then you're like, shit, and then she walks down, she takes the time to walk down the driveway to the car, and you're just freaking out, and then she goes off screen still holding on Julia Garner. You hear the car unlock. I mean, it's just masterclass in horror tension. I loved it. All right, what do you guys have for best moments?
For me, one that was mentioned already, I think this was my favorite, was when Mark was running toward Justine and Berlin's character in the gas station, because when that scene was happening initially, they're talking, they're kind of intense, and then she's like looking off to the distance, and then you don't know what she's looking at, right? So it kind of goes in your head like, oh, what's, like, something's going on. And then when they quickly turn to Mark running, at first I thought it was like a kid, because he was like really far away, so you couldn't really tell at first until she was like Mark. But I thought it was a kid, which would have been really interesting, like one of the kids just running. I thought that was gonna like completely just turn the movie sideways. But then when he just came, that's when everything came to light. That was my favorite scene. I think that scene was just
great scene.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, it's the scene when Gladys turns. I just say turns in all my notes, but it's when she turns all the kids, and they just come running into the house. And that's where like they have like a good score, like very unsettling. And they're like just standing out there, and then one by one you just start seeing them like emerge on the street, and they're just sprinting in. That I thought it was so unsettling.
Yeah, and then it's like the camera's on Alex, and you just see the kids running in while it's like focused on Alex. That was really good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Josh Brolin's dream sequence, minus the big gun in the sky, but the rest of that was very good. Very, very good. James's home invasion, followed by the first discovery of the kids, where it's like kind of implied. You're like, okay, I think I'm getting at what actually happened here. I think I know where the kids are. But then he breaks into the house. He starts stealing things. He gets freaked out. He sees the kids in the basement, and then it cuts. And it's like, whoa, that's crazy.
When the kids turn around after they see him, I mean, I put that as my best shot. Not to spoil one of my best shots, but yeah, that was absurd. That was one of those moments that I had like, it dropped my jaw. My jaw.
Dropped your drawers too.
Drop your drawers.
Is in the theater. He's like, whoa!
What? Oh god.
Oh my god. I like at the end, Brolin and Garner work together to uncover the mystery and investigate Alex's house. I just, it kind of like, again, another little tone shift to more of like the detective stuff that happens in like that at the beginning of the third act. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it was a good payoff to like both of their segments of how he was like trying to map it out, but she's been already at the house.
Right. She knows that in that moment of he's like, I've got this map and I've been working and something in this area. And then she goes, holy shit, Alex's house. And you're like, oh my God, of course.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think one of my favorite moments too. This is more on the comedic side. Is when Brolin's character keeps like tossing James, and James just keeps coming back like because like that all started with like an actual like creepy scene of him being in a corner, and then you're like, oh, that's creepy, and then it just like keeps happening and then keeps happening. It was so good.
It was. I was like, "There's no way he's gonna throw him again," and then he throws him again. I was like, "Oh!"
He just keeps punching him down, and then once he like picked him up and threw him, I was like, "Okay, this has to be it." Nope, comes back.
Nope, he's coming again.
Yeah. That whole setup too with like the salt lines as like
the activators.
Like yeah, like the trip mines for like her weapons. Again, weapons.
Little on the nose there, Zach. Come on.
It's a title for the movie, man. What?
It could have been.
You wanted it to be called Missing. Is that not on the nose?
It is a little on the nose, but it's not weapons.
No, weapons is a lot less on the nose than Missing.
Kids
Missing is the movie title for Aaron.
Children have disappeared. What happened? Find out.
Kids Missing, teacher to blame.
It's like the newspaper headline. That's actually not a bad title. Kids Missing, teacher to blame. That's that could be something. I liked Alex's section. His whole last act basically where it's Alex's POV. Really cool. I loved it. I thought it was really interesting. Any other best moments?
We already talked about the ending. I mean, that's just like an obvious one for me at least, but we talked about that already.
Okay. Yeah. Well, then let's pick. What is the singular best scene in this movie? My personal vote is the stakeout one take. I think that's just phenomenal filmmaking.
That's a good one. My pick is probably there's a tracking shot of the one kid just running through windows and houses.
The shaky cam?
Well, yeah, I guess shaky cam of her just tracking down Gladys and then tackling her.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one.
Honestly, the entire sequence of them running out of the house is so good. But that shot in specific, as she's just going right through windows.
So are we doing best shot right now?
No, this is more. We're just picking the absolute best moment of the movie.
Yeah, I actually like that shot that Connor talks about because it's kind of part of the. Actually, I agree with both your takes. I'm trying to see the dream sequences were good, but I really did like the scene with the car and her staking out. That's probably my pick, honestly.
All right. Cool. All right, so let's do some what ifs. I just want to run down some of the stuff because this movie had a bit of an interesting because of the strikes in Hollywood. There was some interesting stuff that could have happened with this movie, and we touched on it a little bit a couple episodes ago. But between May and July of 2023, the cast for this movie was Pedro Pascal in Josh Brolin's role, Renate Reinsve in Julia Garner's role, Brian Tyree Henry as Benedict Wong's character.
Oh wow!
Austin Abrams, Tom Burke, and June Diane Raphael. However, because of the delays and the strikes, all of those guys had to drop out, and they brought in the new cast. And Pascal obviously had to leave this movie to go do Fantastic Four. But I want to pose a question to you guys. is this movie better with its current cast or the original cast?
That's literally one of my. Is this the best?
Oh, interesting. Well, let's talk about it here then. And I guess we'll transition into what is the best.
Yeah, I think this might be a hot take, especially for you because I know you like Brolin in this a lot. I actually think Pedro Pascal probably would have been better in that role.
That's an interesting one. I think it's an interesting call.
I just see it more because like Brolin was very. I don't know. I think Brolin didn't bring that level of emotion I would have seen. Like you said, I know it's been 30 days, but he's still like in the thick of it. And they did show a lot of scenes with him like sleeping on his kid's bed, and but I wanted to see more emotional turmoil, and I think Pedro Pascal probably could have taken that another notch higher.
Yeah, I like that.
I think knowing that the story also changed with the casting change makes it a bit harder because I can't picture Pedro in Brolin's role here. Because I like Josh Brolin plays like the hard-o dad, like I'm gonna get justice no matter what. Like, yeah, that's kind of like how Pedro is as Joel in The Last of Us, but I mean, I don't watch that show as much, and I just like Brolin just has that like strong presence to him, like where I could see him showing up to the cops, like the sheriff's office, and demanding like, "Well, why aren't you guys getting the results? Like, it's been 30 days. Like, what are the like? Have you heard back from like the feds yet?" So, I mean, I would pick this cast. Although it is very fascinating.
Yeah, and I think Julia Garner, I think you can't replace her with anyone.
No,
I mean, she's just absolutely a dynamite in this movie.
I agree because I don't think she was casted well in The Wolfman. I think she probably like too young. I don't know. Maybe she's not too young to be a mom, but I couldn't relate that in that movie with Wolfman. But I can totally see her in this movie in the role she was in with like being a teacher and everything, especially like in a small town. She has like that small town vibe, like Ozark or whatever. So that I can definitely lock that in.
Especially knowing that she has kind of like a gray past to her. I think she does that very well.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. It's not is this the best, but it is a question for you. I guess maybe it is. Is Julia Garner the new Scream Queen? Like, is she at the top of the mountain for horror movies right now? Or who's above her?
I can't give her that title.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think she can claim that just yet.
Who's at the top of the mountain currently?
Micah Monroe.
100%. Samara Weaving.
Absolutely. I would go Mia Goth.
Yeah, I would put Mia Goth over Julia Gardner. I can't think off the noggin right now.
I mean, Jenna Ortega has the potential to do it if she wants to keep doing horror movies, but she kind of needs to pick better movies.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I love this too because I'm not a horror guy, but we have two horror guys here. So I'm going to be asking some horror questions to you guys.
No, I know there's a big one I'm missing too.
Yeah, I know. I feel like there's one that we're missing that is a big one. I can't think of it right now.
Well, okay.
I'm gonna find it as soon as like we're done recording.
I mean, I'd even put like I'd even put Melissa Barrera up there over Julia Gardner.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Connor, what do you give me another of the best?
So I know the answer is he's not number one, so I'm not phrasing it this way. But is Zach Cregger one of the best comedian turn horror directors? Because obviously number one is Peele.
Yeah. I mean, with 2 movies in, I mean, like, people were giving Jordan Peele just between Get Out and Us already high praise. I think it's fair to give that same kind of assessment to Zach Cregger. Is 2 movies too soon to say as the best? I'd probably say yes, but I think he's on track to maybe be on that same path that Jordan Peele is doing. I guess we'll have to wait till his next like Resident Evil movie he's doing or whatever. But I think he's on the right path.
I like that. I can't say yes or no because I am not. I just don't have the expertise. Here's a fun one. I got a fun one for you. Is this the best Zach Cregger film that has a spooky basement?
No.
Okay.
Oh wait, now that's tough.
Do you like Barbarians or Barbarian?
Wait,
or...
are we judging like which basement was spookier or because
is this the
Barbarian
best film
clears
with
that?
the spooky? I don't know.
Yeah, no, Barbarian's basement is way more terrifying than the Weapons basement.
I would probably I think I like Weapons more than Barbarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that basement.
But the Barbarian basement is spookier.
Yeah.
I would not be within the state of Detroit knowing that basement exists.
The state of Detroit, yes.
Sorry, the city of Detroit. My mind is jumbled because I've got like 6 tabs trying to find horror comedians turned horror directors, scream queens.
Wait,
oh
I
my
can
goodness!
I can give you a good underrated horror director comedian turned horror director, except they're more horror comedies. Josh Rubin.
Yes, Josh Rubin's great.
Oh my god, Scare Me, Werewolves Within, and then Hard Eyes. I love all 3 of those movies, and he's coming to Orlando in October. I cannot wait to meet him. Oh my god!
I'll tell you what. I don't know about you guys, but my first experience with Josh Rubin is on Dropout and College Humor because he features in like one of the game shows on there.
Yeah,
he's hilarious, and then I didn't even realize that he was like a legit horror director until Hard Eyes came out. I was like, oh shit, Josh Rubin, no way. But awesome, that's a great pick. All right, Connor, do you have another what's the best?
It's not a what's the best, but it's a question more for you guys. Not like for the movie. And it kind of goes with the question I already asked. Why are comedians so good at horror? And I have an answer that I think is very commonly accepted, but I'm curious about your opinions.
I think this kind of relates not just to horror, but to comedians who also take on just serious roles in general. I think comedians, they are sometimes able to be so funny because they sometimes dig so deep within themselves to kind of like, I don't know how to explain this, just like it's like they almost feed on their own like troubles and like maybe a troubled past that they're able to just explore these themes in a funny way. That's why, you know, you've got roles with like Jim Carrey, his serious roles are pretty good. Adam Sandler's done some great serious roles. And there's some, John C. Reilly, he's usually pretty funny. He's got some serious roles. And, you know, not just horror, but just dramatic roles. They're able to just convey a whole different emotion, I feel like, compared to just people on like a traditional path.
Yeah. And I think with that too, I mean, you know, comedians are typically quite well educated, or at least they're quite intelligent. So I think there's definitely a correlation there. But also I think when you look at, there's a crossover between what a silly, campy comedy looks like and a silly, campy horror movie looks like. And so I can see the correlation between like someone who's really into just, you know, making funny comedies, but also looking at like the 80s and seeing all of the campy horror that was happening then. And being like, yes, I can relate to that, or I can do that, and then creating something out of that.
Yeah, because the way I see it is, a comedian's job is to get reactions out of people, and it's so easy to just take that and flip it to the other side of the spectrum. Like, if I know how to make you laugh, I'm pretty sure I know how to make you scared.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And like,
that's a very good point.
To your point, Marcel, it's like you're looking within yourself already to make people laugh with stuff you've been through. I can easily twist a story about my past that will make you laugh into something that could make you like shit your pants.
That's a great question for Zach Cregger. Let's bring him out right now. No, just kidding. Can you imagine? Here's a question for both of you that I'm actually curious to hear what you say. Is this the best horror movie set in the suburbs?
No.
I would say
And if not, what is it?
Halloween.
Oh, well, all right. You know, you got me there.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking how. I mean, I have a hot take. Every time I watch Halloween every year, I like it less and less. But that's a whole nother podcast probably. So let's not get into
Yeah.
it.
Woo.
But I mean, I can mention some good ones. I don't know if it's better. Donnie Darko, does that take place in the suburbs? Or is that more of like a school? It's like,
I don't know how I would describe. I would say it's like kind of suburban.
I mean, I haven't seen it in so long. I just picture like the house and like school, very similar to Weapons.
Yeah.
What else is suburbs?
Would you count Scream as suburban?
I mean, yeah, Woodsboro. Well,
I don't know if I'd count that as suburban.
Is that too urban? Too city.
Yeah.
This is interesting. It's actually a good question to think about.
Yeah. I mean, I think Halloween definitely takes the cake. That is super suburban.
Yeah.
But as far as other suburban horror, you know, usually it's like it is a good one.
Like The Stepfather or something, but
yeah,
that's not.
No, there's a pull.
Yeah.
I know it's a pull because I don't even know it. All right, let's move to another section or another category here. I got so I guess these can kind of go hand in hand for me. For best shot, and also the a brand new award that I'm introducing to this pod is the Copacabana Award for best one take, named after my absolute favorite one take in movies, the Copacabana shot from Goodfellas. It's I mean, for me, it's going to be the hair cutting one take is also my best shot. Just of the door, zooming in on the door and then having it open is really cool. Also tied with the shaky cam one take as they're chasing Gladys through the suburbs. But I want to hear what your thoughts are. Do you have a best shot? Do you have a one take that you really love?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. So my favorite shot, actually, this one we haven't talked about it yet. It's when James is in the woods and he hears something, and then he turns and just sees Gladys like waving off in the distance in the middle of the woods.
Yep.
That terrified me because first of all, like my biggest fear is just like running into like a cult in the middle of the woods. So like I could just connect with that, and that's just terrifying.
That feels like a whole thing to unpack.
That's my biggest fear. Like when I watch cult movies, I'm terrified. I hate cults.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So when she's just in the middle of the woods, it's like super saturated and green, and you just see this like orange and blue figure smiling and waving. I would have the same reaction as James, and just first of all, I want to go into the tent. I'd like run just really far away. But
yeah.
That was my favorite shot in the whole movie. Favorite one take. The more we talk about it, the more you sold me on the haircutting scene. But I did really enjoy the one takes in the liquor store, kind of like following that. It reminded me of Barbarian when like the guy was walking through the grocery store. But yeah.
Yep.
No,
Connor, what about you?
I definitely like the haircutting scene, and what I really like about like everything involving like Alex's house too is every time like the door opens and it's just pitch black, they always give it like time to breathe, and it's always like, what's gonna come out? Like, is anything even gonna come out? And then the fact that like a person holding scissors comes out makes it just
terrifying.
Yeah.
That's why I had it in my favorite shot, was because it like slow zooms into the door and then it opens, and then there's those beats of like what is about to happen.
Yeah.
And then she comes out.
Yeah, and then I just want to shout out the scene of James like finding the kids in the basement, and then the kids all like in unison turn to look at him.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
And I also want to shout out to just a very quick shot, but right before the ceiling jump scare with Julia Garner, when she hears something, or she thinks she hears something at the door, And then so she leans over from her bed to look at the door, and the camera follows her movement.
The camera leans too.
Yeah, the camera like just it doesn't pan, but it slides, it dollies across.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a really cool shot. And then it jump scares you. It's like, oh shit. All right, here we go. Krumholtz cameo. This is a cameo named after one of our favorite character actors, and whenever they show up in a movie, it just makes the movie better. Justin Long as the dad. I think we have a
unanimous answer
absolutely.
Here.
Come on.
But also, Sarah Paxton is pretty cool to see too. Or Sarah, Paxton, right? That's her name?
Yeah, Sarah Paxton.
Yeah, that was also a great cameo to see. But Justin Long, of course, is just like number one.
He's in it for like a scene. It's like, oh shit! And he's like, yeah, you can go look at a ring cam. I don't care. And then he's gone.
Sarah Paxton's like standing on the stairs, and she's just like,
yeah. The Mason Miller Award for the character that.
Are you just gonna name a new closer every time?
Yeah, well, I didn't like having a Yankee as the title,
so you pick
I changed it. What? I did pick a Padre, but he throws heat. All right, he throws absolute gas.
Robert Suarez Closer of the Year Award.
Oh man. Anyways, this is an award for the character that comes into the movie. Maybe they only have a couple scenes, but they throw absolute gas for however long they're in the movie. I gave it to Donna, which is Paul's current wife, and
Diane Raphael.
Yes, she comes into the movie, has an absolute freak out in the liquor store, and then has only one other scene in the movie where she just comes home and has an absolute freak out that he's been drinking, and then she's gone.
That's a good one. I didn't know how to answer this one. I just said like the kids as a unison.
I like that. You know what?
Because of like. Because obviously you just you don't interact with them really. I mean, there's a couple scenes with like Brolin's son where he's like bullying Alex, but other than that, you don't really see them until like the basement. Then the ending when they just all collectively chase after Gladys, and I think that's like a great closing moment that kind of fits the award.
Yeah, no, and it does kind of it works in that it's they're like looming over the movie. And so you're thinking like, okay, when the kids show up, it's going to be really impactful. And then they have that brief scene where they all turn to James. But then when Josh Brolin is going through the basement and like going through each kid, and it's like, what is it? I don't remember what his kid's name is, but he's like calling out his kid's name.
Matthew.
Matthew, yes. He's like, Matthew. And then all of a sudden there's a jump scare of Gladys, and it's like, Jesus Christ. And then the chase scene. That's like the only parts that they're really in. So it's kind of like it works out. No, I like that. All right, let's do questions for the movie. 'Cause I have a couple. And I guess one is was Gladys just straight up like a witch, or was she like a legitimate demon or like an evil entity?
Gladys,
like, yeah, because like I was kind of like going back and forth because like I know she presents as a witch, but also she has the she needs the essence of these kids to heal or to be alive. So is she just like a straight up a demon? Like what is her deal?
No, I'm curious. Yeah, like how does she even feed? Like, is it like an energy? Is it an energy thing, or is it like something that she does to the kids? Or is it just because when she had the parent, she's like, "Oh, it's not enough. I need more." And then obviously she's got a whole
Gladys impression.
Thank you. She's got a whole buffet of kids. Like, is she, is she like just? Is it like an energy thing? That's what I'm just curious to know how she feeds.
Yeah,
I think it has to be that because I thought too like. Is she just gonna eat them? Like, but then they were just like standing in the basement, so she must have just been like absorbing like their life for their souls or something like that.
Yeah, No, I agree with that. Um, are we in the middle of a bona fide horror renaissance? Because there's some real, I mean, between last year and this year, there's been some really excellent horror films that have come out. Are we seeing like a new like horror era emerge out of the pandemic and out of the strikes? I think we're seeing something. Like something's happening.
I'd like to say yes because I've been keeping track of the movies that have come out since 2020, and I think between 2020 and now, there's probably been 1 year that's been pretty weak, I would say, but we've still had some great bangers in those years. And now I think there's just so many things that have been happening, especially with like Terrifier and the access to all this gore, which is kind of spawning a bunch of other movies that are now like, oh, if Terrify can do it, then I can do it, you know? And then now we've got like Sinners, like a huge, like big box office hit, and it's also a big budget. And now we have a studio film, and now we have Weapons, very similar track. It's just so many things that are happening that just point to, yes, this is going to be a horror renaissance. And I think it's going to be here to stay at least for another, 5 more years, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're seeing, we saw Nope. That was an excellent movie. Talk to Me, The Substance, Malignant, like all of these like serious hits. These are horror hits. I mean, and some of them to the point where they're being nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, which never happens. I mean, I legitimately think that we're seeing like a true horror renaissance. Like this is a new era of young creative filmmakers that are just putting this movie into an absolute like putting this genre up at the top.
And even performances, like I can't remember so many great, especially female performances, like Final Girl energy. I mean, even last year, Naomi Scott was my number one actress. I know people will say Demi Moore, people will say, what's her name? I'm blanking from the First Omen, but like for me, Naomi Scott like just brought her A game to that movie, and that was my favorite performance of last year for any actress. Hot take, but
yeah. And I think what's so awesome too is you're seeing it at like, I hate saying it like this, but you're seeing it at different like price points too. Like you can have movies made on like micro budgets and movies that are made for like I would call it like a studio rate. And they're all like making their money back and more. So I feel like you have the people in charge, like the creatives, or I wouldn't even call them creatives, but the studio heads are more and more willing to sign off on them and let these young directors like a Zach Kreger make their next movie under their brand.
I mean, look at what's his name? I forget his name. I'm blanking. But the guy who does all of the backroom stuff, he's filming an A24 film. He's 19 years old. That's insane. That's insane.
Crazy.
And then,
all the
like you said,
are now getting into directing horror movies.
Yep.
Who?
The YouTubers. Like
Talk to Me and all that. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, like micro budget to big budget, you've got, you can go from Skinamarink to Sinners. That's a crazy scale, but and these movies are hitting theaters. Now you have, streaming services like Shudder, even Found TV. It's just even more available to everybody to watch. And they're pushing these movies to theaters. Like Eli Roth, his new company, they're actually going to be putting Good Boy, the horror dog movie, out to theaters later this year. I'm sorry, not to lie. I apologize. No, let me rephrase that. Shudder is putting out the movie to theaters, but Eli Roth's new production company is actually going to put another found footage movie called Dream Eater out to theaters, which is like huge.
Yeah, I just want to read this because I just was looking on Reddit, and this was a post from 7 months ago. So think about all of what we've had this year, and then add to it. The Substance, Talk to Me, Oddity, The Invisible Man, The First Omen, When Evil Lurks, Late Night with the Devil, Smile and Smile 2, Strange Darling, Long Legs, The Night House, Nosferatu, No One Will Save You, The Menu, Malignant, Nope, Barbarian, X, like Bodies, Terrifier. I mean, there's legitimately great films in the horror genre that have been coming out. I think we're really seeing a brand new era in this genre.
And it's just so diverse too, with like if you want like a horror comedy, there's so many new exciting voices coming up who have that down. If you want something like a nice slasher, there's going to be something coming out.
Mm-hmm.
If you want paranormal stuff, there's plenty of that out.
Mm-hmm. All right. What do you have any other questions for the movie? I've got one more, but I want to ask you guys first.
The only one I have left is, what's the deal with her tree? Like, what even is that? It's like a bonsai tree, or is it like a special tree, money tree? I want to know what it is. And can I buy it at a
money
flea
tree
market?
Would be sick. I'd take that.
Right? Yeah, but no, I'm really curious to see if that specific tree is this like some old thing that she's been carrying since she's been doing her witch stuff, or can she use any kind of tree? There's a lot of questions that have to do with this tree, because I feel like she has it, but they never really focus on it too much, just like the sticks and stuff. But that tree, I want to know what it is.
Yeah.
I like that, and I also do kind of like that it's not explained.
Oh,
and
for
this
sure.
this was something that I didn't throw into what works, but I love that. Like, by the end of the movie, you're still left with a ton of questions about what happened. Like, it's just like, yeah, there we go. That's it.
I'm very big on ambiguity. You know, it's like the strangers. Like, we don't really need to know why they're doing what they're doing. They're just home. That's why you don't make Strangers Chapter 1.
Yeah, you don't. I hate the marketing for Strangers Chapter 2, where it's like you see like a normal person and then it's the mask over their face. It's like we don't need to see who's under the mask too.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Part of the horror is it could be anybody.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this. This is my last question for the movie. What does the next day look like afterwards? That is, does Julia Garner get her job back? Like,
well, her boss is dead.
Yeah, her boss is dead. The police must be in shambles because, what does that next day look like? This is
Donna's a widow.
Yeah, right.
I feel
that is a tough next day.
Well, I think what's so chilling too about how it ends is like how the narration's like, yeah, some of them even started talking again. It's kind of like how she's been kind of sucking all the life force out of them, and it's kind of like, what about these kids? Like, some of them probably are just kind of shells of humans at this point.
Yeah, so, I will say I was gonna say there's a boom in the childhood speech therapist positions in this town post weapons.
Yeah. Like, poor Alex's parents are now institutionalized because they've been under her spell the longest.
Too long.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's a tough one for the little Maybrook. Is it Maybrook? Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
All right, Connor, do you have any questions for the movie?
I feel like you guys probably touched them all.
Okay. Well, I did not like that phrasing. Anyways, we'll move on from that. Get on your soapbox. It's time for hot takes. I have parts. I think I have one, but I want to go to you guys first. What do you got?
So I guess I'll go first.
Yes.
It's a hot take. Listen, when Mark and his partner were at the grocery store, I think they picked the wrong item every time.
Okay.
Every time I'm like, oh, when he was like holding up like the Fruity Pebbles or whatever, I was like, oh, it's that one. They picked the other one, and then the other thing, they picked the other one. No, they should have picked. It was the better option was not picked every time.
I love that. I have no counter.
That's why they got the fate they got. If they had just picked the right Fruity Pebbles, Gladys does not go to their house.
Exactly.
Connor, do you have a hot take?
I mean, we kind of touched on it with your casting thing, but I'm glad Pedro Pascal was unavailable for this because I really like the performance we got with Josh Brolin.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be definitely different performances, but Brolin definitely, for me, feels right for this role.
Yeah.
All right, here's one, and again, I'm a non-horror guy talking to two horror guys. So I want to pose this out here, and I've been kind of, I had been baking this a little bit, and then Connor, you mentioned another name, and I was like, oh, shit, that one's probably there too. But so I'm gonna add the mountain right now. of horror filmmakers. The three at the top are Jordan Peele, Zach Kreger, and Robert Eggers, and it's not close. Like, these are the three best horror filmmakers the last 20 years, and I don't think it's close. Anyone's touching these guys.
For horror?
For horror.
For horror.
Because these are guys who are, and the reason I said this is these are guys who are writing, directing, and in Kreger and Peele's case at least, they are writing, directing, and producing these horror movies. They're original movies. They are the top of the mountain, I think. It's a hot take. It's a hot take. I could be very wrong.
I feel
you're thinking about it, and that makes me happy. At least you were just like, no, you're an idiot. Here's 18 filmmakers who are doing it better.
If you say like just working now, I feel like I'm more willing to just agree. But the 20 years is just like, there's got to be like since 2005.
But no one's coming to mind. Which,
because there's so many names that
there are a lot of names. I think the problem now, kind of like you said with the whole like horror renaissance things, there's so many young filmmakers with or not even young, I'm sorry, but like just filmmakers who only have like one or two films and that are still trying to make a name for themselves, you know. But like, for example, I would probably have like Coralie, I was going to pronounce her name, Farge in there simply because of like Revenge and now The Substance, which are both, you know, top tier. Like I mean, I probably have Barbarian over Revenge, but I think The Substance is just so good that it kind of trumps over both of those films. A little bit for me, but like, you know, I would have her up there, and she's like, you know, she's only done 2 films as well, you know. But Revenge hasn't been seen by everybody, but it's such a great, like, obviously, like, revenge movie that's also tasteful in terms of what it's doing, of course, because from her female's perspective, so it's just a great film.
Yeah, and I would toss in like Julia Ducournau, another like French filmmaker. She did like Titan and Raw
and stuff, yeah.
Which Alpha I know wasn't getting the best reviews at like its festival, but like still very young in her career, like these guys are. I feel like she deserves to be mentioned the same.
And like, I mean, for me, this is something I don't really think about. Yeah, James Wan.
Like, none of those guys have the resume of James Wan.
Like, one that people don't really think about is Brian Bertino, and he did The Strangers back in like 2000, I don't even know, like 5 or something, or whenever that came out. But he also did one of my favorite movies of the 2020s, The Dark and the Wicked. So big year gap, or a time gap between both of those movies. But The Dark and the Wicked is one of the scariest movies I've seen like recently. It's so good. But obviously he doesn't have that consistent, you know, filmography because he has such a big gap between those movies.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it was a hot take for a reason.
Yeah, it's definitely a good hot take.
So you said Jordan Peele,
Kreger, and Robert Eggers.
Okay.
I don't know. I think there's a combination, right? Like, these are guys who, you know, at least in Kreger and Peele's case, they write, produce, and direct their original horror stories and their box office successes. Like, I think that's important too. Like, these are movies that people are going to see, and they're original, they're written, directed, and produced by the same guy. I think that there has to be something to be said about that level of filmmaking. But again, you guys have listed off a bunch of very, very excellent filmmakers, so we'll see. It remains to be seen.
I'm starting to think I might not be an Eggers guy.
Oh, interesting.
I think The Witch I love. That's like, I love that movie. When it came to The Lighthouse, when it came to Nosferatu, personally, you know,
that's tough.
It's just I think I wanted a little bit more originality in terms of what Eggers was bringing to the table. Yeah, he changed the design of like Nosferatu himself, and of course his attention to detail when it comes to time periods and like the cloth that has to be used and all the like props and everything has to be really like immaculate. But I don't know, when you watch like the original Nosferatu, and especially I think Michael Haneke, is it Michael Haneke's? No, yeah, who did the '87 one? No, Werner Herzog. I forget who made it.
Yeah,
but Herzog, yeah. When you look at Herzog's Nosferatu and then compared to Eggers, it's like, okay, like what are we doing? Like, are we just rehashing the same old thing? Like how did you bring this originality to your film? It's the same old thing. And yeah, on a technical like point, it's great, but like what's new? I don't know. It just didn't hit for me.
Interesting.
Yeah. A name that I feel like we didn't mention. I feel like Ari Aster is kind of in that.
That was another person that I was expecting to be brought up, but I think with Eddington and Beau's Afraid, it's
kind of like he's like kind of leaning toward other stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he started off so hot with Hereditary and Midsommar, but then it's kind of like, okay, now I'm going to start doing me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's shift gears a little bit as we finish out this podcast. What prop are you taking home from Weapons? I've got an answer. Do you guys have any answer
I have an answer.
Okay, Marcel, what do you got? What are you taking home?
I am taking home those damn hot dogs that were not eaten. Are you kidding me? Dude, they frame those hot dogs so beautifully. Yeah. He sits down and I think he eats like a carrot with ranch.
Yes, he does.
And then or whatever. And I'm like, bro, those hot dogs are not going to be eaten. That's what I'm taking home.
Okay.
Can I guess what you're going to take, Aaron?
Sure, you can guess.
Is it Willow?
Oh, that would have been so good. Oh, I want to change my answer to Willow. That is not what I wrote down, but that's a great one.
That's funny.
I had all of those cans of Campbell's soup that
nice.
Alex was feeding his parents. He just massed by. Gladys was like, "You need to feed them." I got some soup. You got to make sure that they're fed. And he took that as they can only eat Campbell's soup now. So I need to feed them Campbell's soup.
And I love how he buys like the one you can just open randomly.
Yeah, right.
He couldn't figure out the can opener.
The can opener. I love it. All right, Connor, what are you taking home?
See, it's tough because there's not like a lot of things, but I might be taking home the Mickey Mouse t-shirts, the matching shirts they were wearing. Marcus and his husband.
Yes.
I love that. That's hilarious.
I didn't even think about that. That's great. I love that.
That's awesome. Willow is great too. That was a great pull.
Wait, so no one's taking home the AK-47?
No.
It's a cloud.
All right, the Richard Kind Who Would Make This Movie Better award. This is kind of a recasting thing. I want to hear your. I didn't really have anything, but I want to hear your. Did you guys have any recasts?
No, I just had like, since I had heard about the whole Pedro Pascal like reshoot thing, I had that as my only option. So I didn't really think of anyone else for this.
Okay, Connor, did you have someone?
Not that I want to recast her. I think I would be interested in seeing what Taylor Russell would have done as Justine.
Okay,
because I
would have
think
been
she's
interesting.
An insanely talented actress,
and
I think she would definitely have, like, she was in Bones and all, and the escape rooms.
Yeah. Yes.
I think she has like the innocent demeanor down, but I feel like you could, if you got to like explore her history a bit more, you would definitely find like skeletons back there, and she would hide that so well. So that could have been a nice alteration, but I'm very happy with the performance.
That's interesting. Yeah,
Julia Gardner gave.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well,
one that popped into my head just now, really quick. I would have actually liked to see like, I don't know if she's done a crazy role like this. She probably has, and I just don't know. But maybe like Helen Mirren as Gladys.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Or something like that. I don't know, like having like a serious like actor like that and just playing this crazy oddball character like Gladys would have been really interesting to see.
I thought about Glenn Close, but she basically did this in like Deliverance. Like I think it was last year.
Interesting.
And
yeah.
I did not like that movie at all, and I was like, you know what? Let's strike that.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah, or actually, never mind. Maybe it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our final category before we wrap up this this podcast, as always, I have to ask: is this better with the Challengers cast in it?
No.
I say it could. It could work. It could work. It's not better, but you put Zendaya in the lead role, and then like maybe I'm thinking like one of it's gonna be obviously one of Mike Faison and Josh O'Connor as the cop, and then the other one as
the drug addict.
As no, I was gonna say as Josh Brolin's character.
Oh, but he'd be too young.
Yeah, you know.
I don't see it.
It could work.
It could work. I would rather have it be as like the druggie and the cop, and then Zendaya as the lead. Yeah, but that's funny.
It could work. All right. Well, that's gonna wrap this up for this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Marcel, for coming on and talking about weapons with us. Before we go, actually, we gotta put in our scores. So
yeah.
Marcel, you said earlier. I'll start with you because you did actually say your score earlier. What do you rate weapons?
Yeah, Letterboxd. I have it on Letterboxd. I have it sitting at a 4.5 out of 5.
I love it. It's a great. I think that's a good score. I also am going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. I think for much of the same reasons that we've talked about on this pod. It's a great horror film that blends a lot of different genres, that really just does a lot of really great things, and it's interesting. It's an original story. It's cool. I really liked it. So 4.5 is where I'm sitting.
So I was in between like that 4.5 range, but what really differentiates a movie, and like I did find how I grade movies, my sheet, and something that separates a movie from a 4.5 to a 5 is that lasting impact. And I saw this movie Thursday night. It is now Sunday afternoon. This movie has not left my mind. Like it's had that lasting impact. I've had so many thoughts. I've wanted to watch. I when we do podcast reviews, I do not listen to any other thoughts, anyone else's thoughts. I don't read reviews. I want everything to be my own. It's been so hard because I want to hear everyone talk about this movie because I really did enjoy this so much. So that's what separates it for me. So that's why I'm giving it a 5.
Wow. So Connor, that is only your second 5 you've ever given on this podcast.
Yeah. This movie, to be fair, we did Sinners. I did update my score to a 5 in Letterboxd as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we want to update that one as well.
Sure.
Sometimes that happens where you're like, you really like Sinners, but then you watch Weapons and you're like, wow, that's a 5 out of 5. But then also you're like, wait, but do I like Sinners more? And then you're like, yeah, actually I do. And then you're like, now you have to like bump it up to a 5 again because you're kind of like evaluating.
That's why I like treating all these scores as like buckets. Like if it's right. And honestly, that change happened when I watched Superman. Because I was like, wow, this is a movie I'm thinking about a lot. It just made me so happy. And I started thinking about Sinners, and I was like, why did I give this movie like a 4.75?
Yeah.
Let me bump it up to a 5, because I had the same kind of happy feelings of like, not happy about like the story itself, but like happy about the experience I had with this movie.
Well, that brings our average score to a 4.67, which bumps it into the top 3 of all the podcasts or all the movies that we've reviewed on this podcast, which at this point is 54 films. This is now number 3 on the list and is just below Sinners at a which had a 4.75. This movie had a 4.67, and it's just above Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. Our top 3 now is Jaws, Sinners, and Weapons, which I don't know if that says something about us or
something about me, because those are all 5 stars for me.
Those are all Connor's 5 stars.
Yeah.
But right in third place. And with that is going to do it for this episode. Again, thank you for listening, Marcel. Thank you for coming on this episode.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. If you like what you listen to, leave a rating, subscribe, follow us on your favorite podcast platform, or subscribe on YouTube, where you can see us in our entirety on video, as well as on Spotify. You can go to our website, firstpicturehouse.com, and you see all of the things that we've written about over the past multiple years. And you can visit our socials and see, you can see all kinds of stuff. See us on TikTok, see us on X, and all of those other places. And check out Marcel on TikTok. Speaking of TikTok, he's got a great channel where he talks about horror movies and found footage films all the time. So there's a lot of really great stuff there. And go to our Letterboxd channels. Those will be linked in the show notes. You can see what we're watching, when we're watching. You don't have to wait for each episode to see what Connor and I watch. And you don't have to wait till the next time Marcel's on a podcast to see what he's been watching. You can just keep up to date all the time. So make sure you do that. And with that said, that'll do it for this episode of the Film Box Podcast. We will see you next time.
See ya.